Welcome, it's Louise here from Create with Louise, and welcome back to my channel. And today's a great day. We can now show inside the 2025 Annual Catalogue. So I'm going to go through a few things that are important. So the icons, so this little N in pink denotes a new product. When you see a QR code, you can scan it with your phone camera for more information. And then this little tag here with a heart, you get more details on products marked with this icon, and they can be found on the referenced page or in the online store. Then we have our table of contents, and these catalogues are set out in the way our crafting experience. So we have our step-by-step crafting, quick and easy options, and we've got the join and an index, and we've got creativity your way. So that is crafting from scratch. So step-by-step crafting includes kits. So we've got card kits here. Now I actually have made this one, the heirloom arrangement kit, made up. And you know, they're so much better when you see them in person or a little bit made up, closer up, not just a photo. So they're all layered. There's different types. There's vellum and cut out pieces, and you're just going to stamp the sentiment. So this is printed here on the card base, and they're just layered. And there are 8 cards, and they're all different. So by adding some dimensionals under some of the elements, then you're getting that nice variety. And the envelopes are also decorated. Then there's a few leftover pieces, so you could make more. And I love this addition of the vellum there. Makes the light and airy. So that is the heirloom arrangements kit. And I'm going to skip pages so that we're not here for hours. So also in this section are scrapbooking workshop kits, which are new. Last year we had them separately, but now they're finally in the annual catalogue. Now I don't have any samples to show you because they're available tomorrow, and as demonstrators we weren't able to order these early. So you're going to get 3 double page layouts and all the designer papers, stickers, cutouts and cardstock and instructions to make the 3 double page layouts. So that is Memories in Bloom. Here we have Turtley Sweet. Weekend Adventures, and Celebrate Together. Then we're going to move on to quick and easy options. So these are a selection of mix and match ephemera packs, and I have these greetings for all, and it's really good to have. You get 2 sheets of each. And some black ones too, some black options. That must be this other one. This one here. Because I've pinched the happy birthday out of there already. And this is great for your crafting on the go when you don't have too much time. So everything's coordinating. So there's textured stripes, card bases and envelopes. These are some gold tags, some embossed designs for specialty cards and envelopes. This one's Time for Celebration, and this is Good Times. And also on this page you see here we've got card and tag templates, and sometimes we lose our mojo, and this is a great way to have a look at a sketch and give you some little ideas to get started again. So another quick and easy option is the Memories and More cards. Now these can be used for cards and scrapbooking. So these cards, and I have them here, come in 4x6 and 3x4, and they can be used, as you can see here, in pocket scrapbooking. So there's some of the designs. And it's great to have the different colours, because sometimes in your photos you've got lots of different colours. Now I have used this pack. We were given this pack at On Stage, which was held in Brisbane here in Australia, and it was a really great event, my very first one. So great to spend time with other crafty ladies and a few men. And it's good to catch up with those that we only speak online. So it's really good to catch up with them in person. Now I've got a couple of cards here. So this one has been torn, used a 3x4 card, and we've stamped, we've fussy cut out of another card this banner. And then this one here we've torn this way, and then that piece has gone onto the envelope, and a stamp across there. And we have a quick and easy card. Now I have a scrapbook page that we did. See, these were samples that we did On Stage. So all these pieces were cut up and we've stamped. And I have this stamp as well called Layered Thoughts. So I think that's going to be a great addition to my craft room. I'm loving the texture of them. And it doesn't even matter if you know, because it's textured like that, if it doesn't quite stamp precisely, it's very forgiving. Okay, and this picture was from our welcome party, which we all had to dress in white. And here's that Layered Thoughts stamp set on page 34. Now there's some returning faves. It's always good to have some favourites that obviously are very popular, and they're in here as well. Then we move on to the section which is Creativity Your Way. And this is also the beginning of the sweet collections. Look at all the ideas you have here. So many ideas. You don't need to reinvent your crafting. And even if you don't create them exactly the way they are, it gives you ideas to get started. So for this suite, all I have is the dots for those. And I'll get these out because they are really pretty. These are the in colour dots, and they're quite flat, but they're so pretty. I'll bring them out again. So it has 2 stamp and die bundles, your designer series paper, the flat pearls that I just showed you, and of course these can be all purchased separately. So you can see here they've made up the card by just fussy cutting out of the papers. Don't always have to stamp. So lots of ideas. Now we have Turtley Cute, and I don't have any of this product. I tend to buy the product that I know I have photos to go along with. But it's quite sweet and fun. Now the next one is Beautiful Gallery, and I didn't know if I had photos. I didn't care, I just bought it straight off. I just thought it was lovely. So it also has 2 stamp and die bundles, and remember that when they're bundled together you get it at a 10% discount. I'll bring in some product. Now I have used up quite a bit of this paper pack. I actually gave them as samples in the sample bags for my customers. So this is like a damask design, and then you have muted patterns on the back. And you do feel like when you're going through this paper pack that you're in an art gallery. And this one here, I did put in a photo frame. Could be a really simple thank you gift or thinking of you gift for someone. I just went to Kmart here in Sydney, and then you pop this in, and very inexpensive. Lovely scenes. And if you made a 6x6 card, you can pop these on and your card's done, with a nice sentiment up here in the space. Beautiful. These sort of charcoal drawings, I'd say you'd call them. And these look very watercolour type drawings, paintings. It's not black and white, it's black with, you know, a very light grey background. You could fussy cut out those roses too. Great for photos of the lakes and ocean and masculine cards and scrapbooks. Yeah, I think that's going to be a great one. And these supporting types of, on the back that you have, that they're really good to support your crafting experience. A map. And there we have those. I've got a few samples. I might go through the product first. So we've got our gallery blooms, which is down there, and the dies that go with it. Beautiful motifs, so you've got plenty of sentiments on there and great background images here. A Damask Designs embossing folder. This is, so I've just added a bit of colour so that you can see the design, and that's a two-dimensional embossing folder. We have these, they've got a bit of weight to them, they're metal. Pressed flower motifs, so they're lovely. And some ribbon. This ribbon's good too because you can also colour it as well. Classic basic beige ribbon. And some samples. So I've used the frame, cut the frame out here. These ones here, I've cut out of here. That doesn't cut out all the way. I'll show you. On my sample sheet here. So they partially cut out so that I've just popped a bit of dimensionals under there just so they pop up. So it was something very new to me and I really liked them. And these beautiful delicate dies here. And that's the frame. So it comes in one piece but cuts out this outside piece and then this inside bit, and then you have that bit there. So you cut it once and you've got the three different pieces. So I've just cut a frame out of one of the DSP. Here's one of those charcoal drawings, just a couple of die cuts and a sentiment and your card's ready to go. Here's this damask embossing folder here. I've just done it in the cloud cover, so just a tone on tone, and then I've used pecan pie for the stamping there. Okay, and then you can see these pressed flower dots there. Moving on to Kintsugi Inspirations. I wasn't able to get this yet. None of the demonstrators were because it's not available until May 6th. But it's on my list. You can't tell in the photos, but this has got gold through it. So it's going to be really nice when we get it in person with all that lovely gold foiling. Boho Vibes. And now we're going on to scrapbooking from scratch. So we've got Memories in Bloom, and earlier in the catalogue you'll notice we had scrapbook kits, but in this section they've added in a stamp set that is more geared towards scrapbooking. We have the Memories in Bloom two-tone cardstock and sticker sheets. Okay, so there's a few of those, like the Turtley Sweet. So you'll notice that there's a scrapbooking stamp set that has got lots of good titles, good sizes for scrapbook pages, especially 12 by 12, and then you've got some nice smaller icons. Celebrate Together. Now, part of Celebrate Together, I have the paper, and there's also online exclusives with this set as well. So I will bring in the designer series paper for us to have a look at, and I've chopped into this already. So some beautiful colours in here. This is the Timid Tiger, one of the new colours, and this floral. This is Secret Sea. It's a really sort of dark bluey green, and great sized icons. What I like is that they have the larger ones, and then they'll have a sheet of smaller ones, and I'll show you in my samples. I've actually fussy cut some of these icons. Here I've chomped into it. With the card making stamp set and dies, you get a die that's going to cut out some of these glasses. So the ones that don't have elements coming out the top, you can cut out. And that's the reverse of that. I think that's like Blackberry Bliss, maybe. I'm not sure of all my colours yet. And this is a good one also for cutting out. So I'll bring in this sample of this card, and what I've done is stamped over it, and then I've been able to cut it out with the coordinating dies. And this is very pretty too. And this would be the Strawberry Slush, one of the new colours. And another. I've got photos, so I'm going to be able to have plenty of fun scrapbooking with this set. That's why I got it. So also with the, which it's not listed here, so you can see stamp set, card, two-tone cardstock, the designer series paper, and a sticky sheet. But these, so this is an embossing folder, Glass and Gardens, and holographic dots, and that Cheers and Sips. They're going to be online only. They're going to be part of the online exclusives because they also are released on May 6. So you've got the nice floral with the garden. So you'd be able to do this and put it in, and you'd be able to do a 12-inch piece if you wanted to scrapbook, and then it's also good size for cards. And here's another sample on a slimline card. Now, a lot of these samples I found on the website. I knew I didn't have time to reinvent the wheel, so I went there, and on our website you will see on the left hand side when you're looking at the stamp sets, they will have samples. So that's where I've pulled some of my designs. So these ones have all been fussy cut. They weren't that hard, but it's really effective. One more, and Weekend Adventures. So great masculine papers, and great for outdoors and barbecues, and hiking and camping. Plenty of ideas. So then we've got, which is new, they brought in the 12-inch black postbound and D-ring albums. They are just available in black at the moment, hoping that that's going to change. So also on May 6th, we will have all the Stampin' Up colours in two-tone cardstock, 12 by 12. Really looking forward to stocking up on my cardstock. Then we move on to bundles. So bundles are where you've got a stamp set and a die, or a stamp set and a punch. And they are going to be the bundles, and you'll see here 10% off when you purchase them as a bundle. So we're back to Creativity Your Way, and we've got some stamp sets. So this is a great one, lots of sentiments on there. Forever loved, forever remembered. You're so kind, thanks so much for thinking of me. Sending good vibes. So there's lots of different varieties of sentiments in just one stamp set. So on this one is the returning faves again. So if you like this one, I think I still may get this. I'd never got it last year, but maybe I will. I've seen some beautiful artwork that people have done, so I think I'm pleased it's back for another year. So now we've got some punches. So we've got a new 1 7/8 circle punch. Dies, we have new party alphabet dies, and these are quite large, so they'll be, you can see in this banner here, and I don't have them, so I can't show you the size. Here's a card, and you get a bit of an idea of the size of so they're large. It's embossing folders. So we've got a few new ones joined together, which is going to be in with the Kitsugi inspirations, the turtle textures, and the damask designs. So you'll see them earlier in the catalogue as well. But it's really good to have them all in the one place, because then you can just go and look. If you're looking just for embossing folders, you can come to page 109 and you've got embossing folders. So something new that they've added is having all the designer series papers and some of the textured papers and other patterns all in one area, instead of having to flick through to different pages. So I think that's going to be another great resource for everybody. So they'll be all there, even the returning ones. Good to see that the Country Woods is returning. I've bought multiple packs using it a lot. Okay, on to embellishments. So we've got, you'll be able to see these pressed flower patterns a little bit better there. Pressed flower motifs. And some ribbons. Now we move on to the in colours. So I'll bring those in. Oh, I realised I missed one of the stamps. Let me go back to, it was in here. It's one I won this on stage. So that was the Peaceful View. And this is what I've created so far. So I've taken one of those beautiful gallery papers and heat embossed. So I've stamped it in a black sticky ink. I used archival black, but a pigment ink, and then I've heat embossed with clear embossing powder and heated it. Okay, so the in colours for 2025 to 2027. So we received these. So we've got Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and that's all I've got left of the cloud cover. Okay. And I've purchased these afterwards, and I've got the Stampin' Write markers, because I haven't bought them yet, so I need to have a play with them. So here I've got, this is from the beautiful gallery stamp set, and this is the mini, this is already on the website, it's not new, it's a mini corrugated embossing folder. So I've got a card in each of the colours. And then you've got these gorgeous flat dots. They're quite shiny. Okay, and I've got a couple of things that aren't in the catalogue, and then finally we've got our index at the back. So I'll bring in Sunrise Sailing. So it's an online exclusive stamp set and die, and there's a hybrid embossing folder. So here we have what you can cut out. It has these waves. This is the hybrid embossing folder, and you can see that's what cuts out. You have a die that fits in the embossing folder. I'll show you how it works. It goes on that side, and it doesn't lock in, but you can feel it sit in that spot there. Put your cardstock over there, close it, and run it through your die cut machine. And that's what you end up with. Okay, Now I've got some samples. So we've used this cloud cover, the embossing folder, just inked around the clouds a little bit, and I've used the Secret Sea ink. This one here, this is already on the website. It's a waves embossing folder. I've cut a circle out of one of the beautiful gallery scene papers, and I've used Night of Navy for these. And the dots are, I don't know if they're still available, but they're from the Regal collection from last year. And then this one is showing the two-tone cardstock and those waves. So I've got another item from the online exclusives. And this I paid for after hours crafting at On Stage, and it's called Impressions Abloom. And this is all I have, but there is going to be, once this is released on May 6th, you'll be able to see all the other items available, like the DSP. So I'll turn this way. So this is what you can cut out. And what's really interesting about these is they're not separate to these. So I've got them together because I've been using them. But you have a separate one. Then you pop this, goes in there like that, right? And you run that through your machine and you get these. So these three, and there's some leaves and these centers of your flower, that's how they cut out. So you can use these ones to stamp on, or you can add this and you've got this texture. Hope you can see that, this texture. It would be really good to actually add some ink with a blending brush to the center of those to bring out that texture. And here are a couple of samples that we made with some of the in colours and that stamp set while we were at On Stage. So you've got the Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, and the Strawberry Slush, and the Secret Sea, and the cloud cover. Now, the cloud cover had some production issues, so it's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be available May 6th. They just wanted to get the colour right before they released it. So that brings us to the end of the catalogue walkthrough. Bring back the catalogue. So if this is something you'd like to have instead of looking at it online and you live in Australia, reach out to me in the comments and I can send you one free. So I'm so pleased that you've sat through with hopefully with a cup of tea or coffee and had a look at the inside of the new annual Stampin' Up catalogue. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, I'd really like it if you liked and subscribed, and I hope to see you in my next video. Well, I won't see you, but I hope you can join me. Bye for now. Before I leave you today, I wanted to tell you about the Starter Kit special. Have you ever thought about getting products at a discount, being part of a crafting community, or maybe it's the opportunity to earn a small income? From now until May 31st, for only 169 Australian dollars, you can get $303 worth of product. That's an extra $134 during this special. I will have a link and my email in the description below.